I think Lee is special because Lee seems to have dual personalities that I still can't quite come to terms with, but I don't know. Lee's an angel and a twat.
The relationship with Lee changed me loads. I think because of the way things had to end, made me a lot more cynical, and kind of a paranoid psycho killer bitch person, really. I went a bit mean, to say the least. But got over that bit. And I think I have much more thicker walls, a lot more of a barrier between me and whoever I want to be with and who I'm with now. But that's only because of what I've been through before.
I don't know, it's a bit sad because he was really special to me when I was younger and always will be. I know now I probably won't see him again or speak to him.
I'd never had a boyfriend before, and it made you realize what reality is of being with another person. You know, when you're a little girl, whatever, you imagine this beautiful man who's gonna come over and just love you or something like that. And then you meet a young man who's just interested in smoking bong and playing with his mates and then making out with you. And he was always skipping school, and it makes you a little less naive, I think.
When I first met Lee, I was 15, and I didn't really fancy him at first because he was a bit short and had blonde hair and wasn't really my type. But we were on a trip to see Chicago, and I remember he sat next to me in the coach and he held my hand, and I don't know, I just got tingles and knew that I really liked him, even though he was short with blonde hair and had a bit of a big nose and a bit stubby.
So I always kind of knew of Lee, kind of liked Lee, but there wasn't like a specific time we met because we weren't really adult yet, and it's sort of all mixed up in school and things like that. But it was probably something quite sort of passive, nothing I don't particularly remember, to be honest.
Well, we were introduced by my friend Jack. We had a mutual friend, and we just kind of got chatting and hit it off straight away, and obviously got on really well, and it felt really comfortable between us. So I think that's why it started off so well.
Well, that's the thing. We kind of saw each other around because we're both in the whole performance world. And I think it was at different shows and different events. And I think, you know what it's like when there's a screening or a show to see, everyone goes for the drinks afterwards, and there's the flirtatious banter, there's the, I don't know, the touching of hands and the, did she mean to do that or is she just being friendly? There's, especially with girls, because you can just be friendly and you don't want to jump someone and scare the shit out of them. Do you know what I mean? So it's quite funny.
And all the girls had a crush on him. And then he was sitting next to me in my bed where we were sitting, I think we were sitting 6 people in the bed, like hanging out. And then we had a duvet under us, and it was the typical kind of, you're not doing anything and you're not talking to each other, but it's just like the arm is moving closer to the other one, and then you stop, and then you feel, and then the other person's arm is kind of pushing a little bit back, but you're kind of ignoring it because you're talking to another person. And then all of a sudden your hands meet, and they kind of close, and you're kind of ignoring it and talking to other people, but you're just thinking, fucking hell, this is amazing. And then you don't say anything until everybody have left, and we went outside and we kissed.
It was a really warm night, so we decided that it might just be fun to go and sleep in the garden. So we took a tent and just pitched it in his back garden, and but it was so warm that we ended up actually sleeping outside the tent, and we just talked all night long until the sun came up. So that was quite nice.
As I said, he was always skipping school, and he was being really antisocial because he was smoking a lot. And I went up to him and confronted him with it, and I said to him that he had to put himself together, and that I'd kind of wanted to give him a week to think about if he wanted to maybe hang more out with me or hang out with other people, or if he just wanted to do whatever he was doing. And then I was waiting for him for a week, praying to God that he would come back to me and say, I love you, you're the best person ever.
Our relationship ended because there were 3 people in the relationship in the end. There was me, and there was Lee, and there was a terrible addiction to cannabis. And in the end, that's why we had to part ways, or I had to leave.
I think the relationship ended because Lee wasn't mine. So she had to go back to whoever she belonged to.
But I remember a very strange sort of afternoon when I was with all of Lee's family, and we were just sort of sat there, and Lee was crying, and I was sort of crying a little bit. We both kind of knew that something was just dying.
It was really bizarre, actually, because we had a really bad relationship. After I was 16, we were on and off, and then I got a boyfriend who's got, like, I'm with still now. I was with him when I was 19, my boyfriend now. And I remember seeing Lee, and we just both knew that was it. That was the last time we'd ever probably go back to each other.
If I could say it and then erase it if I wanted to, I would probably just wish him well and hope that he'd managed to get his life on track, and kind of hope that he was happy, and I think I'd ask him for an apology, I think.
Why don't you love me? What would I say to Lee if I had the chance? I think I'd ask if we could just be friends, like for real, like we used to be. But I know the answer to that already. Yeah.
Every time I've had a boyfriend and we've broken up, I've always thought about him. I always go back to him, and I don't know why. And I'm always thinking, where is he now? What is he doing? He's like the only person I can't find on the internet. I've been looking him up. He's not on Facebook. You can't Google his name. And I don't know if he's alive or if he's dead. And sometimes I'm thinking, was it really magical or special? Or was he just like real prat? But I'd like him to know that I still think about him.